Good afternoon. I'm Dara Bunjon. I'm the food enthusiast here at Jamer Living. I'm a food writer, food stylist, PR maven, and a frustrated baker. Those of you joining us live, drop your comments and questions for my guest or myself in the comment box, and you'll see me turn my head. I'm checking a screen so we can answer any questions or share your comments with the audience. It's all about food sport, the annual food championships, where the grand prize is $150,000. Chefs, home cooks, barbecue masters qualify for a golden ticket at local events, which qualifies them for the international competition. Today's guest is founder, CEO Mike McCloud, a visionary entrepreneur with multiple businesses and agencies. In 2012, he had a vision for cooking as a sport. That was the genesis of the World Food Championships. Let's bring in Mike.
Hi, Dara.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I'm so excited to talk to you about this. And I know there's gobs of people who watch all these food competitions, so I know they're going to be just as interested. What's on your plate today other than doing this show?
Unfortunately, not enough food. I am working with my team to make sure that our core categories are being communicated appropriately to the 350 teams that are going to compete, that our ancillary challenges are going according to plan, that exhibitors know what they need to know on how to load in, when to load out. And we're still working on some last minute tweaks to experiences for foodies, but also some sponsors who are still trying to get into the event. Also on my plate is a conversation with another community who wants to hold a super regional. And additionally on my plate is a couple of TV conversations that have to be moved forward. So just, the typical odds and ends for a regular food sport day.
Well, what can I say? Having my hands in a couple of events and being participant of it, just the hugeness of this. It's huge. So we have the competitors, but at the Indiana State Fairgrounds, it's October 16th to the 19th is where the competition is going to be, but it's also open to the public that they can get tickets and come in. So that's what you're talking about, is the vendors that are going to be there and the samplings, and isn't there a chili cook-off and many things that the consumer can take part in. Let's see if the mouth will work. You live in Tennessee.
That's correct. I live in the Nashville area, which is in itself interesting and evolving and expanding all the time with great food experiences and restaurants.
Yeah, I was down there a couple of years ago, did a road trip with my girlfriend, stopped at Gatlinburg, went to an inn, can't remember the name, about 3 days in Nashville. Probably could have spent more time.
Were you on one of those crazy bachelorette U-Hauls or the John Deere tractors that are going down Broadway every 5 minutes?
No, that was way long in my past, but I'm not sure I would be on one of those cycling bars either. We listened to some music. We were staying up in the music area, and we just walked into town, and I had a friend I went to high school with who lived in the area and met up with them. But it was great fun, and I think everybody should do it. And there's so much more growth. There's a local guy here who opened up the huge food hall in Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
He was involved with that. But back to you, Tennessee boy. Went to the University of Tennessee, got your BS in communications, magna cum laude. Just a couple little things. When you were graduating, what was in your mind? What did you want to accomplish? It was communications. what did you think that you were going to do, or going, what were your goals at that time?
Well, I went into it thinking I was going to be a journalist, but I reformed myself before I even got my degree, and decided I was really more of a entrepreneur. And so I tried to merge those two things when I started my business. I came straight back to my hometown and launched a magazine to focus on people and places of the region. Was the publisher, editor, salesperson, copywriter, everything for that publication when I first started. And it taught me a whole nother degree, which I call my degree from the University of Hard Knocks, to complement my university degree from the School of Knoxville. So it set about in motion a lifelong protocol for me, which was to be open to change, to be able to evolve and look at opportunities from a purpose perspective, but also hopefully for a profitable perspective. So I've been adapting and evolving ever since.
But I think early on you got involved with food companies or food organizations, American Barbecue. You did the Great American Barbecue Tour. You were involved with Kansas City Barbecue Society, Bull Outdoor Products, Tyson, Smithfield Craft Food. And this obviously gave you, that was through your agency, what, MMA Creative, is that what it's called?
That's correct. And that was McCloud Marketing Associates. We abbreviated it to MMA once I started acquiring a couple of competitive firms and started aggregating the agency business in my market. And to your point, I spent the first probably 10, 12 years of my career focused on general marketing. We worked for banks, hospitals, car dealers,
Right.
real estate agents, everything. But then I had an opportunity to become the agency of record and the de facto marketing director for the Kansas City Barbecue Society. And that was a pivotal moment in my career and in our company's history, because as I looked at the culinary competition landscape, I realized that there was lots of opportunity, primarily on aggregating it and presenting it as a whole instead of allowing it to continue to work in silos. Pretty much every event out there, and there's about 800 barbecue events that I know of. Every event was working on its own, getting its own sponsors, getting its own judges, its own teams, etc. And we just felt like it was ripe for a unifying strategy. And we helped the Kansas City Barbecue Society bring some great new programs to the table. Great American Barbecue Tour became an asset that would go to barbecue events, no matter who owned them, who promoted them. And then we had a chance to bring Sam's Club into that relationship. And that led to the very first national barbecue tournament ever produced by anyone. We designed that from scratch, executed it, delivered it, worked with Sam's Club for their KPIs and helped benefit KCBS in the process. Right. And then in that moment of time, we felt like there was an opportunity to create a Super Bowl, if you will, in the world of competition cooking, because you had burger battles, sandwich slams, dessert offs, Food Network. Everything was starting to really take sprout and grow up. But we never could see a unifying judging / super event that brought all of it together. And that was the genesis of the World Food Championships, which we began working on in earnest in 2010, and we launched in 2012 with Caesars as our partner in Las Vegas.
Well, it's mammoth, folks, because I start really digging into this. And you talked about, unifying. So that sort of explains people can go to your website, which is worldfoodchampionship.com, and look for regional competitions and try to get golden ticket. You don't have to be an executive chef. You can be a home cook or a pastry chef, or as long as you go in and qualify and you get that golden ticket, you're welcome to the World Food Championships. I keep wanting saying something else, competition. It's a championship. It's a sport. There are 10 categories this year. Sometimes there's 12. And these are this year, it's barbecue, live fire, vegetarian, seafood, chef, dessert, bacon, sandwich, burger, noodle. And you might qualify with a seafood dish at the local region, but you could then come in and be in any of these categories except chef. So you might come in vegetarian, you might want to do burgers. And then you have multiple teams in these categories. Tell people more about the process of this. I know that there's so many staff that you have. You have cheferees, you have judges, you have, I had it down here, the judges, but I like the cheferees. They're back in the kitchen while they're working. So please tell them about the first opening round, the competition.
So at the heart of the event, there's about 500 people that have to pull this Rubik's Cube of culinary competitions off. Full-time staff, paid volunteers, cheferees, trained judges, leads, etc. So it takes a lot of people to pull it off. Right. And the best way to think of it from a 30,000-foot view is if Top Chef met March Madness and decided to do something together. So we've built this tournament that has opening rounds and then final rounds, and then an ultimate final round for the champions of the 10 verticals. So in the opening rounds, to your last question there, we open every category except for chef, as you rightfully pointed out, to anyone who can earn their way into the big dance here by winning a local competition somewhere. It could be a online competition. It could be a courthouse square event. It could be as long as it's got fair judging rules, and our team looks at all of that before we agree to provide a golden ticket. As long as a team wins fairly and squarely at some other event, we don't care about their culinary training. It's one of the special features to the World Food Championships. It's almost like an American Idol of food. If you're great at making blueberry pie and you think you're the best in the world and you can go prove it locally, then you get a chance to come to our event and prove it nationally or globally. So it could be a home cook, it could be a professional team like a barbecue team, a chili team, a steak team, or it could be a chef, a line cook, an executive chef, sous chef, you name it. Right. You can enter any one of those 10 categories. Now, in the chef category, we reserve that for working professionals. You have to have an existing capacity as an official chef somewhere, and we learned that was important to the industry because a well-trained chef, the last thing they want is to be beaten by a home cook, right? And when you have hundreds of teams aiming for this prize, it's sometimes possible for that to happen. So we protect the chef vertical for those who are looking for resume building experiences, and we leave the other 9 verticals open to any one of those constituents.
The Restaurant Association of Maryland, because I'm in Baltimore, is one of your sponsors. And I know that they have had local competitions. There's actually one over Labor Day at the Seafood Festival at Sandy Point. But what's important in this is that these competitions are timed. The rules, you sent me a list of the rules. It's like 8 pages, and I'm sure a lot have been added since that first day, which was 2012, that there was a learning process going on. But I think your prize money, is it this year that it jumped to 150,000 for the winner, or was it
Yeah, so
last year?
we have about $250,000 that's awarded at the main event, which is what we're about to do in Indianapolis. And then there are 10 winners that come out of that. Each one of them won $10,000 apiece. They go on to the final step in this culinary gauntlet, which is called the final table. And we usually host that in Bentonville, Arkansas, with our partners Walmart and Sam's Club. At that event, they have a chance to win an additional 150 grand or a stair step element of cash from the prize purse. So all combined, it's about 450 grand there, give or take. And we also have lots of prizes in there from our sponsors.
Yeah. The competition, the beginning, the competition, they do, I'm trying to think, 3. Is it 3 on the opening challenge? They go to, let's say there's out of 20 teams for one category, let's say vegetarian, that it comes down to 7.
Correct. So the 20 contestants in the opening round they get a chance to build their signature dish, the best thing that they can produce. So in seafood, that could range, from to sea bass to surf and turf to lobster, chowder. It could be just anything, shrimp and grits. Whatever they think they are the best in the world at making, they get to make. It's called their signature dish. We force them to use a product from a sponsor. So if we had sardines that was sponsoring it, or Starkist, we would tell them, you have to, whatever you make, you just have to infuse this ingredient, and you have to do it well. You can't just add it on the side of the plate. And from there, we calculate the scores using our EAT methodology. That was one of the other things that we had come up with is a sane way to judge any dish, no matter what kind of dish it was. And our solution for that was execution of the dish, appearance of the dish, and taste of the dish. So we use certified judges who know the rules of the game and how to score things appropriately. And we take the scores from those 3 dimensions from 5 different judges that will judge any given dish. And we aggregate and multiply by percentages, because each one of those dimensions have a different ranking. And then we take the top 7, actually we take the top 5 of the 20 scorers and move them onto the finals. And there's 2 added to that mix through our master judge relationship process with the American Culinary Federation. We will have ACF judges walking around with their eyes on the competition, determining who's using the best processes, whose
skill level,
whose skill level it should be rewarded a final spot, no matter what their EAT score is. The EAT scores are blind. Our judges in the EAT judging area don't see who is turning in what dish. They just see the dish, they see the description of the dish, and they make a calculated judgment based on the taste and execution of the dish. But our ACF judges walk around the arena, make sure that the teams are being healthy, being organized, and using great techniques. And 2 individuals get to be moved into the finals just based on ACF judging techniques. So that's how we get to 7 in the finals. And then at the finals, they can again make whatever they want, unless we force them to use a particular product. And this year, for the first time, we are going to have a mystery ingredient that they won't know until the actual they show up to the cooks meeting. So we'll test their skills again, and we'll find out who is the champion based on the score of that day in the finals.
Anything else new this year that wasn't going on last year in the competition?
How much time do we have on this podcast? There's a lot of new things. One of those, probably the biggest, is we're doing a redemption tournament. So let's say you don't make that top 7.
Okay.
There's still 2 other ways that you can compete. You've booked a hotel, you've come to Indianapolis, as a team, you're expecting to go all the way to the finish, right? So you're there for 4 days and 4 nights, and if you get knocked out on your first day of competition, that's a big bummer. So we've designed 2 other things that people who don't make the finals get a chance to do. Number one is they'll get a potential draw into our redemption tournament, which has a decent prize purse associated with it. It is a series of head-to-head battles that 16 chefs will literally go head-to-head through a March Madness kind of bracketology in one day in 5 challenges. The winner will have won 5 challenges to be redeemed. So that's one new wrinkle. The other is we're bringing back a super regional qualifier that'll be run on the same day concurrently. And that gives teams who got knocked out, if you're in the top 7, you get an automatic berth into next year's event. But if you're in the 13 teams that didn't make it to the finals, you have to go earn your way back to the championship. So instead of having to do that out in the field months later, you can do it at our super regional qualifier that happens on Saturday at the event. If you beat out, I think it's probably 10 spots out of 30, people will win their super regional qualifier golden ticket to come back next year.
Yeah.
Just a couple of other things, fun things that we're doing that are just, I think, really compelling content and compelling ancillary challenges. We have a firewoman challenge that has 10 of the best female pitmasters in America competing against each other. We have WFC Junior, and we have special effects on your podcast, I can see. We have WFC Junior for kids 11 through 17 to further their culinary career and work for scholarships. We have a Battle of the Branches, which is for military veterans from every one of the branches that will compete. And we also have a really fun Biscuits and Championship challenge where Donna Collins, the most celebrated jelly maker in America, hosts a contest to see who's got the next best flavors for jelly and jams going forward. So all of those are happening as well as we run this massive tournament that will have over 350 teams trying to get their payday.
I can't even comprehend the organization. I'm overwhelmed just thinking about it. And that's the first time I've seen special effects show up.
Yeah, right. For some, I think there's a setting on my computer that does that, because in all my meetings, anytime I do a thumbs up, all of a sudden I get an emoji on my camera. It's quite entertaining.
So, well, that's great. At least it wasn't a this.
Yeah, right.
The one of the things that I thought it came to mind, that these teams have to clean their stations. And the reason I bring that up, probably about 6 weeks ago, I had En-Ming Hsu on. She was the team captain for the Coupe du Monde pastry competition in Europe. That was the only U.S. team to win the gold. And she said when they went into the kitchen, the Italian team had torn it up and left it a mess. And it counted on their time frame. If they were given an hour and a half or 3 hours, whatever it was, they had to get that. They didn't know where things were because things had been moved about. So I just thought that was important to highlight because of what she said to me. She had to sit there and rethink that night before they went in how is she going to manage the team when certain things were missing?
Yeah, I know that's a respected competition, but I have to say that's really on the organizers and their game plan to help the contestants be prepared. We call it the turn and flip, almost like a restaurant does for its tables, right?
Right.
What restaurant is going to expect the next customer to come in and eat around the mess that was created by the previous customer? We don't do that. We present our kitchen arena as clean and safe as possible and organized. And after every category, we allow about an hour between categories to flip that and reset that kitchen arena to make sure it is exactly the same for the next category of contestants. So that's one of the reasons that chefs and volunteers and lead coordinators are very important to our game plan. It's also an opportunity for a sponsorship to come in. We work with Barkeepers Friends. They're a fantastic company that help us tremendously in getting that flip just as spotless and organized as possible. So we're very proud of that relationship.
Bartenders keep, right?
Yeah, yes, bartend.
It's the only thing that cleans my all-clad limited
Yes.
cookware.
Yes,
It's
you're
really
exactly right. Thank you for the correction. Yeah.
That's okay. I make all the time. Believe me, there's 250 episodes below me. It shows every error that I've made. It's there for perpetuity. I want to get to the final table, which doesn't take place in October. You said it goes back to the same place where Walmart and your sponsors are. Mm-hmm. And that is much more intense.
Yeah,
talk a bit about that.
Yeah, it's the final leg of this culinary gauntlet. To become the world food champion, we just, especially getting 150 grand, we just believe that you really have to be tested. And you have to, in our arena, you have to win 6 challenges, 6 competitions to get there. You have to win your way into the event. You have to win in opening round. You have to win in the final of that round. And then you go against the other champions at the final table, where you're presented with 3 very localized, very specialized challenges that narrows the field from 10 contestants, 10 category champions, down to 1 ultimate champion. So a champion has to navigate and execute extremely well in 6 competitions. The reason we decided to separate the final table, it used to be when we first started and didn't know half of what we know now. Right. We tacked it on at the end of the event, like most other culinary competitions. And it was just a monumental lift, not only for the teams, but for my team to deliver all of that and do it well. So about 5 years into it, we started toying with, what if we take a break, right? You go through this big main event, and right. Then you take a little break, and you start formatting another challenge. You do it with a great sponsor in a great destination. The first time we did it, we actually worked with New Orleans and did it in New Orleans, and we had Cajun challenges built into those three moments, and it was fantastic. But we just felt like there might be an opportunity to have 2 tentpole events in the year if we looked at that formatting. And I have to say, it's been probably, it was a big gamble for us to break it apart and tell the industry, this is good for the industry. And I have to admit that it's turned into one of the best strategic decisions we ever made, because it does give us a chance to reset and to make one other strategic run into the finals. And it's allowed us to move that event around from a tourism perspective, but now to use it as a very important strategic perspective for our largest sponsor, being Walmart and Sam's Club. So it usually happens in the spring. We take about 5 to 6 months off from the main event. so
Right.
that we can do all the new formatting for it. And the last two or three, I think the last two have been at the same facility, which gives my team some comfort because we know all of the moving parts, all the potholes, all the guardrails, etc. And it happens at a place called Brightwater, which the Walton family is behind and helped give birth to. And it's about the study of food. So it's a beautiful facility, operates perfectly well for us. And it's a great new chapter, a great new experience for the 10 champions who go to try to win that final moment.
Colin Hilton was the winner, and he was a noodle champion. So if you think, how can I win with noodles or soup? His final dish was a soup with noodles.
A very complicated soup, I might add. It had layers and layers of flavor and complexity to it. But yes, a noodle category champion, and he was one of our dark horses. You know, no one really saw him coming through the system, and but it turns out he's just super creative, super talented, and he was able to approach every challenge better than anybody else. And after those three challenges in Bentonville, he was crowned the winner, won the $150,000, and is our reigning champion going back into Indianapolis. He's currently living in Indianapolis. That's how he got into our event last year through a qualifier there. But he's a kind of a West Coast guy, loves Northwest, and I think ultimately wants to get back there in some kind of executive chef role. But for now, he's a Midwestern, extremely talented, capable, and he's going to be a formidable force for people to go up against. I will add that we've never had a World Food Champion repeat. We've only had one time an actual category repeat. Steak contestants won this 2 years in a row back in, I think, 17 and 18. But we've had a dessert winner. We've had a bacon winner. We've had a couple of steak winners. We've had a barbecue winner. Now we've had a noodle winner. We've had a chef winner. The system that we've created is extremely fair and extremely challenging from any perspective that you're coming from.
I'm curious, out of the winners who've won the big prize money, have any opened a restaurant? Any stories about what they've done with the money?
Yeah, absolutely. Bethany Bodecker, who won before Colin, she was our 2024 winner. She is a pastry chef, or was a pastry chef at a big hotel property, and she used her winnings, is $100,000, I think, to open up her own pastry shop. So she's now a bona fide entrepreneur and doing things the way she wants to do things because she was a world food champion.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of others have gotten into restaurant chains, either developing them or working with major restaurant chains as an executive chef. So it's a huge stepping stone to win this. It is a huge opportunity. Many doors start opening for them, whether it's TV, brand centric, or self centric, like Bethany.
Well, I am just always focused on food. It's Food Enthusiast. Whatever it is, it's food. Somebody said, would you enter this? I said, I'm not in that league. I'm definitely not in that league. And it takes a passion and a drive and a focus. And it's not a rewarding business financially to anybody who's in it. So it's a great opportunity for these people to come out. Like you said, Colin was sort of a dark horse. Nobody saw him coming.
Yeah, it's
stand up and shine.
Yeah, the industry, unfortunately, is a very challenging industry to be a chef. And I often tell people these individuals are only doing it because they're at a high level, because that's their language of love, serving people with food.
Right.
And many times they're overworked, underpaid, and
For sure.
as we all have unfortunately seen, even with great talents like Bourdain and others, the stresses in this industry can ultimately win instead of you. So it's one of those things that's important to our mission to identify and celebrate great chefs or great cooks, I should say.
Yeah.
And hopefully we give them a modicum of award and spirit and passion that they really need.
And they're around others like themselves. And that's important too.
And that speaks to a whole another halo effect of this event is the community aspect. These chefs bond immediately. It's almost like a high school reunion when we throw our event, because they not only know each other, they empathize with each other. They walk the same walk. They can look at anyone with the word chef and have something in common with them immediately. So it's something very special. We love that aspect of our event probably more than any other aspect.
Yeah. I just want to remind people the information is up in the comment section. The website is worldfoodchampionships.com. And as long as you can put the 3 words together, World Food Championships with an S, you can find them on Instagram. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them, I don't know, are you doing Twitter? I don't know which one you're doing, or X, or there's so many of them right now. But Facebook, Instagram, you will find it, the website, and all the details should you want to compete. Look up your state, look up and seeing where the competitions are. I think they're cutting off 30 days before the competition.
Yeah, we basically are completely full right now.
Okay.
So if you win a contest somewhere that is an official qualifier for us, then there is a reserved spot for you. If you win a contest that's not yet a qualifier and you're trying to get in, it'll have to be for 2026.
But the prize is wonderful. The friendships you gain is going to be immense. We are at a point now where I ask my questions. Are you all set?
Oh, I didn't know this was coming, but yes, I will do my best.
Okay. I assume somewhere along the line that you cook. Am I correct?
You actually would be incorrect.
Really?
I've never been a chef, or certainly working chef. I'm a grilling enthusiast. I don't
Okay.
mind working around the grill some, but if there was a world microwave championship somewhere, I would be a great contestant for that.
Well, my first question is, tell me about your ultimate culinary fail. Anything that you've done with food that was funny or embarrassing that you care to share?
Oh, I hate to share it. I tried to smoke a brisket one time, and that was an epic failure. Um, I have so much respect for the barbecue industry and the teams that can get that perfect, juicy, tender,
Brisket.
pull apart brisket. And I tried it once, and I think I got PTS from it. I haven't tried it again.
No perfect pink ring, right?
Nope, no smoke ring. Nope.
Yeah. Just let you know, ages ago that I did food styling for Stephen Reichlin.
Oh wow, that's
So
quite an experience.
it was. Tell me the 2 that must be in your refrigerator. What 2 items have to be in the refrigerator?
Coke Zero and honey Dijon mustard.
Okay.
Because I put it on every sandwich I make.
Okay. And, doesn't hurt to get a sponsor like Coke either.
Right. We have worked with Coca-Cola before. I used to be a Diet Coke guy, and I finally plunged over into the Coke Zero aspect, and I've become addicted to it that way now.
Okay. All right. If you can wake up tomorrow morning with a new talent, what would the new talent be?
I think I would like to be able to sing. I love music and love the good twist of a phrase and words that give meaning to songs. So if I could have that talent, that would be pretty incredible.
Are you a Nashville fan or country boy music?
I'm pretty.
Are you diverse?
I'm pretty diverse. Yeah, I don't. My preference is classic rock and roll, but country does have a near and dear spot in my heart. I for a long time I rebelled against that, and then once I matured in my 30s, it started kind of striking a chord with me.
Okay. If you could go back and give your 18-year-old self a piece of advice, what would it be?
Continue taking risks, but be better capitalized.
Okay. What's the best bite that you've had all week?
I had a fantastic Southwest quesadilla the other night at one of my buddies' restaurants, and I just loved the first and the last bite of that.
That's saying something. Who was it? I think Jose Andres said after the third bite, continuing eating makes no sense. So if your first and last bite were just as good.
I always make sure, I don't know if everybody else does this, but I actually plan out my attack to food to make sure once I learn the flavors and the balance that I like the most, to make sure that my last bite has all of those flavors in it. I pick around my food to get to that last bite.
That's great. That's great. And my final question, Mike, what didn't I ask you that I probably should have?
How can someone become a judge? We actually have certified judging classes at the event, and anybody who wants to understand the mechanics and kind of the secret sauce of food sport should become an EAT certified judge. So we will have links up on that very soon. We were just talking about how many classes we want to give at the championship this year. And there's going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 EAT judging classes this year. So look for that information on our website coming soon.
Okay. What did I want to ask about that? Oh, I've judged a couple things, but I don't have the what were we saying? Execution, EAT certified.
Mm-hmm.
Is that similar to like the Kansas City barbecue?
Yeah. Very similar. That's where we get the idea from, and they're very dialed in on barbecue, right? But when it comes to our arena, you have to be open to numerous categories. So the whole execution aspect of a dish is really where we have seen a lot of changes, and we have to explain and spend a lot of time on. And then, of course, in our arena, when a contestant provides their dish, they have to tell us a title for the dish and a description for the dish. So our judges can use that data to determine did the contestant achieve their goal. It's a lot like going into a restaurant. Unfortunately, a lot of sanctioning bodies out there, whether it's barbecue, steak, or whatever, they don't allow that intel. And for me, it's kind of a weakness, because I would never go into a restaurant unless I knew the chef and highly respected the chef and just said, "Chef, serve me whatever you want to serve me." I would never go into a normal restaurant and just tell the waitress, "Oh, just bring me something." Right? I look at a menu. I determine what kind of mood I'm in as far as the food I'm going to pick, and I'm always looking at the description of the food to determine, does it have sauces, flavoring, or things on it that I want, so that I can order it. And we believe that's important to food sport. What was the 18th barbecue team trying to achieve with this rack of ribs that the previous 17 didn't do? Right? Is it Polynesian flavored? Is it Chipotle styled? Does it have a ghost pepper in it? Is it rubbed with cherry sauce? There's just so many different ways to change the flavor profile. And we think that our judges need to understand that concept and be able to judge against that concept.
Well, let me know if you do the teaching regional here on the East Coast.
We will
I would
be,
love to
actually.
do that.
We just finalized an agreement with ACF, who's going to be teaching classes throughout the nation through their chapters. You'll see more of that in 2026.
Okay, so you don't have to be an ACF member to come in for the class.
You'll actually become one if you take their class. Yeah, you'll become a new layer of membership, a food sport layer of member of ACF when they start launching those classes.
Okay, well, that's great to know. In the meantime, anybody, I judge. I don't have the number that certifies me as a EAT judge, but
well, if you want to come to the championship and you want to sink your teeth into it, we invite you, and I'll give you some founder pointers on judging dishes.
It's I would have to say with yours, are the judges, do they sort of stay in certain categories, or are they, let's say you have 20 judges, they cover all aspects, or do they pick certain categories to judge?
We give our certified judges a chance to pick their favorite category, and we try to give them a couple of assignments at the event, so they get a variety of dishes and flavors.
Okay.
And I think in total, not counting our final panels, which typically are experts in their field of that particular category, our certified judges probably they number about 150 to 200 judges.
Ooh. A lot of judges, a lot of food.
A lot of opinions.
Right. Okay, everybody. World Food Championships. Is this going to be on TV sometime soon? Is that something in the works?
We have been working on a deal to make our own TV show that covers it soup to nuts. Turns out that is a heavy lift and a big production. So we haven't got that over the line yet. But we are usually the backdrop to a lot of smaller shows. Like Food Network will come in and do something around kids, or do something around the military branches, or A&E might come in and do a show that's travel based, using our international contestants. So you'll probably see bits and pieces of World Food Championships on a slew of shows this time next year.
Right. And that brings me up, because there is a World Food Championships in Australia and France. So did they buy from you the format?
Yeah, they essentially have become franchisees of our concept. And there's one in Japan, one in Dubai, one in France, England, Australia, and we're in talks with others to try to really take this phenomenon global and have champions from every continent.
That sounds great. Mike, a real joy. And
absolutely, my pleasure.
Considering how busy you are, thank you for all the time. And you asked, how long is this? as long as it takes.
So
I
my
appreciate your time and all the best, continued success with everything that you do. Thank you for joining us.
absolutely a pleasure. Happy to do it again. So thank you very much.
Terrific. Okay, everyone. Next week's guest will be Robin Daumit. Having become a media personality through Food Network and a PBS cooking series, a food and lifestyle influencer has emerged. Newspapers, magazine, and internet periodicals have taken an interest and published her stories on her late in life reinvention. She is just over 70 in age, so she's going strong and is still very proactive along with her lifestyle site, Whisk and Dine. Her latest book is Dirt to Dish, and a complete television series is in development. So join us next week for Robin Daumit. And feel free to reach out to me via my email, which is food@jmoreliving, or my Instagram is @Dara Cooks. And I also on Facebook have the Food Enthusiast page. You can sign up at jmoreliving.com for the free bi-monthly This Week in Baltimore Eating newsletter. Recipes, local food news, and videos from the Food Enthusiast. Go to their website and on the menu, click on Connect. And on the website, a menu will drop down and you're able to sign up for that email. All shows are immediately archived in video form on Jmore Living's Facebook page and jmoreliving.com and also YouTube. We truly appreciate it when you share our show with friends and family. Feel free to go back into our archives and enjoy past shows. May your plates always, always remain full. Hope to see you next Thursday.